Welcome to episode 108 of Driftless Knitting. My name is Jennifer. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Driftless Knitter, and you can find my patterns on Ravelry as well as knitcircus.com, payhip, and driftlessknitting.com. I am going to be consolidating where my patterns are and taking them from payhip and putting them on my own website. But I haven't gotten all of them onto driftlessknitting.com yet, so some of them are still on, well, all of them are on payhip. So yeah, you can find those there, available for digital download. And welcome to my knitting podcast. This is a podcast all about knitting, yarn, sometimes fiber, sometimes cross stitch. I think that's about it. It is 2:06 in the afternoon on Saturday, June 12th. I am coming to you in a little window of time when I have a little bit of free time. We have a couple friends coming over later on this afternoon, so I'm quickly filming something. Hudson just went down, my 9-month-old just went down for a nap, and I thought, it's now or never. Mostly because I have a few things that I finished knitting that will be gifted tomorrow on Sunday, so I wanted to film something and show these things to you before I gifted them. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with my hair today. We have 90% humidity outside. This past week has been so hot, and I had to turn the air conditioning off to film, so hopefully it doesn't get too warm in here. As soon as I say farewell, it's going back on because, yeah, it's been running constantly for the last week, which I really don't like because I'd rather have the doors and windows open, and it gets so warm up here. So anyway, let's get started, shall we? I have a couple finished objects, actually quite a few, which is strange for, I can't remember the last time I podcasted it. Was it 3 weeks ago? Maybe? I can't quite remember. But anyway, I'm really excited that I got some work done. The first thing that I wanted to show you was this cute little thing. Oh, isn't it adorable? This is the, oh, I look super weird with it. Hang on one second. Okay, just had to make sure the baby was still asleep. Anyway, I wanted to show you this cute thing, which I was knitting during the last podcast. This is the Baby Ashley sweater. It is knit out of a DK weight. I used 2 different colors of Knit Circus Divine DK, which is 100% superwash merino. I used a discontinued color for most of it, but then at the bottom of the body and the bottom of the half of the sleeves, I switched to the Beacons Are Lit, which is a very similar colorway. You can barely tell a difference. It's a little bit more gray. It's a little bit more muted than the top color. That one's a little more blue. And I should open the blinds a little bit more so that I get more sunshine. Hang on one second. Okay, hopefully now it's not too imbalanced with the sun coming in from there. We usually close the blinds in the beginning part of the day because it gets so warm with the sun beating down. We get direct morning sun. So we keep the blinds closed, and sometimes I forget to open them in the afternoon. But yeah, so this is the Baby Ashley knit out of DK weight. I did the 6-month size because this baby that I'm knitting for will be born in July, and I figured a 6-month size would be great for when the weather gets cold. December, January, he should be able to fit in this pretty well, and if he is anything like my baby was, he'll be in the next size up. So yeah, Hudson right now is in 12-month clothes, even though he just turned 9 months. So yeah, who knows? He might be in this a little sooner, maybe fall time, maybe early winter, and then it'll hopefully last him through the winter months. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm rushing a little bit, and I'm sorry about that, but I have to clean a little bit before people come over. It's knit from the top down. It's just a nice raglan cardigan. It has these really cute details by the button bands. I have knit this sweater twice now. I knit my son one that he wore quite a bit last fall, so I knit him like the 3-month size, and it was his, oh gosh, he wore it into like November, December, which is really great. We used it as his like jacket, I guess, when we'd put him in the car seat. Instead of putting like a zip up or something, we would just put him in this sweater, and I really, really liked. It was lightweight, but also nice and snuggly warm. So yeah, I don't think this will be my last one. It would be great to knit Hudson another one. I think she also has a child version. This one goes up, you know, to toddler size, I want to say, but then there might be a child version has bigger sizes even than that. The buttons are just a plain like wooden button that I got from Joanne Fabrics. They are a little, I kept forgetting to put the button bands in. So at one point I did have to rip out to put the last button band in, but you can tell there's only 4, not button band, the last buttonhole. There's only 4 buttonholes where there probably should be like at least 5, and they're sort of spaced out weird. Hopefully they don't mind. Sometimes, like, as long as it's functional and it doesn't look too strange, like, I don't know, it's totally okay. He's only gonna wear this like 1 season. It's not like he's gonna be wearing this for the next, I don't know, 10 years. Like some of the cardigans we make ourselves, we're hoping to wear those for, you know, maybe the rest of our lives, who knows? So yeah, I'm not too worried. Functionality is key. So yeah, there it is. I love it. I'm so excited to give this to her tomorrow. I'm excited to see her. I haven't seen my cousins on that side of my family since last summer. We did an outdoor baby shower for me because, yeah, it was right smack dab in the middle of the height of COVID, and we couldn't do like a big baby shower all together inside somewhere, so we did like little baby showers with a couple sides of my family, almost like a what would you call it, like a moving baby shower. So we had a couple different groups that I would go to and open gifts, and we were outside under like tents and in the shade, because it was hot then too, in the middle of July. And yeah, it was fun, but you know, I couldn't hug anybody really. Yeah, we didn't get to spend much time together, so I'm really looking forward to being able to see some of my family tomorrow that I haven't seen in a long time. So also for my cousin's little baby, she loves elephants, and she requested me to make a elephant like set for their newborn pictures. So, uh-oh, my light went out. That's sad. Okay, hopefully there's enough daylight. But anyway, so the story with this, I modified some elephant ears because I really didn't like any of the knit elephant hats that I found on Ravelry. So this is what I came up with, and I love that the ears are, so they're 2-sided. You knit them flat and then like seam them together, but I think I knit them a little bit too big. I wanted them to be big because elephant ears are large, but they're heavy, so they keep like flopping down. And I wish there was a way for me to like tack them so that they stood out like that. I might mess with it a little bit. I might be able to take piece of the ear and sort of tack it behind like this so that they stick up a little bit more. But anyway, yeah, actually, I think that could work. So I'm folding, there's a bit of excess fabric back here. I'm folding this, and if I just tack it down to the back of the ear like that, I think that would look really cute. And then they would, yeah, that would look really cute. They would stay up a little bit better and still be, I like how folded they are, because elephant ears are, they kind of ripple in the wind and they move them, and so I didn't want it to just be this like flat like thing sticking out. I wanted it to have a little bit of shape, but obviously this is just a little bit too like it's just gonna, but if I do this, I think that would look good. Okay, hey, thanks for workshopping that with me. I mean, it's like when you have a question in class and you go up to the teacher's desk to ask the question and suddenly you figure it out on your own, and then you're standing there like, never mind. That's kind of what this is. Like, I have this issue and I'm just gonna figure it out right on camera. So yeah, I'll take a picture and show you guys what this is. But yeah, the hat itself is, oh gosh, I forget what it's called. It'll be in the show notes. But I went down a few stitches. The original of this hat, this is in DK weight too, I forgot to say, the same base as the sweater, but it's in our silver lining colorway. That's funny. Our silver lining colorway, which is just a really nice light gray. So it's Knit Circus Divine DK, 100% superwash merino in silver linings. And I have plenty to do. I'm gonna do a little diaper cover with a tail for her too. And so this hat called for DK. I did the size 6 needles, and the pattern wanted me to cast on 72 stitches, and I just felt like that was gonna be a little bit too big. When I was knitting hats for my baby, I found that most of the newborn hats I knit were too big for him when he was first born. So I knit him 2, I want to say, to take to the hospital, one in a DK weight and one in a fingering, and both of them were too big for him. So I thought 72 just seemed a little bit too much. So I think I went down to 64. Or maybe just 68. Maybe I just cut out 4 stitches. I think I did 68. So I think this is a little bit better for a newborn size, especially if they do their newborn photos like within the first week. She's gonna want that to fit well. And it's okay if he grows out of it, because it's not really a hat that they're gonna put on him to like take him for a walk, This is maybe gonna be something that goes in his like memory, if they have like a memory chest or something like that, or a shadow box or something. Maybe she'll use that. Again, like I said, she's obsessed with elephants, but it's not really something that they're gonna use more than once or twice for photos. So yeah, so I'm gonna be able to get those ears fixed tonight, and I should be able to give that to her as well tomorrow. And I'm really excited because she had asked me to knit this way back when she told the family that she was pregnant, which I want to say was in February, March, maybe earlier than that, maybe January. I think they did like a recap of their year video that they sent out to family, and they announced that they were pregnant in that, so that was really cute. But she asked me around that time if I would do like an elephant set, so I'm not sure if and we haven't talked about it since, so she might not know if I remembered or actually did it. So I'm hoping to surprise her like a little bit, even though she's probably expecting something. But yeah, so that is my gifts for the baby shower. The next finished object I have is another Bluff Top Hat, but this one is the child version. So last time I showed you the baby version, like 6 to 8 month maybe, and I am designing a baby, toddler, child version of my Bluff Top Hat pattern, which is it's been out for several years now. It's knit with a worsted weight. Uh-oh. Okay, he's fine. I did this last time too, where I was recording during his nap. It's really the only time. I mean, he doesn't like leave the apartment very often for long enough for me to do this, so usually I'm filming while he's napping. Yeah, so it's a little like scary to see, you know, some movement. Be like, oh God, please don't wake up yet. Anyway, so yeah, so the Bluff Top Hat has been out for a while. Like I said, it's available on Ravelry, on Payhip, and on knitcircus.com. I'm not sure if I've uploaded it to driftlessknitting.com yet, but it'll be there hopefully soon. But this is the child version. So I'm knitting this version on size 7 and 8. The adult version is knit on 8s and 9s, so it's a little bit more of a open, not much of an open fabric, but it's just a little looser, a little more drapey, like slouchy, whereas this one is a little bit tighter. It's got a really fun twisted rib brim and double moss stitch body. And this might slouch a little bit depending on the age of the child, but it'll fit a little bit more like a beanie. You could make it super slouchy if you wanted to. You just keep knitting the moss stitch until it got to the length you wanted. But yeah, so I would say this might even be able to fit me. Barely. Yeah, so it's like really tight on me. But for a smaller child, I think it is a great size. For anyone like a teenager, or even like 11, 12-year-old, depending on their head circumference, you might just want to knit the adult size. That's why I wanted to make sure there was a distinction between the adult size and the child size. So this would probably fit, 6 years to, I'm just kind of guessing, 6 years to maybe 9, 6 to 9. Again, it depends on the size of your child's head. My nephew has a very, very large head, perfectly proportioned with his body, of course, but it's a little bit bigger circumference wise, and so he has been wearing like adult size hats since he was 3, 4. So yeah, it's all gonna depend on the child, but it's nice to have a little bit of a smaller version, yeah, other than just the adult size. So the last one I have to do is the toddler size, yeah, and then get the pattern put together. It's amazing how slow pattern designing and knitting goes when you have a job and a small child, because I used to get an idea, like sit down, bang it out, like knit it as if it had like a deadline or I wanted it out by a certain time, that's all I would knit. I would get it done. I'd write up the pattern as I was going. I'd, at the same time, as soon as I get it done, I'd take pictures like the next day or right after it was done blocking. And now if I get this done by the end of summer, I will be happy. And I have other things that I have a bunch of ideas, and I have a couple things that I'm just like waiting to cast on. Literally the yarn is wound up. I have the stitch pattern written out. I've got the number of stitches I want to cast on. And it just, yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard. So one of those things actually that kind of falls into that category are these socks. I casted on this toe at the beginning of the month because I wanted to loosely participate with the Crazy Sock Ladies summer sock camp. And I've never participated before, but I sort of followed along last year. And then this year it was like, what the heck? It's free. I'm not required to do anything. If I get one pair of socks done, like that's good enough. If I am motivated to knit more, like that's great. So I cast on this one sock, and I have the toe done. Get my cable out of the way. I knit my sock's toe up with a Judy's Magic cast on as the start. I knit a 56 stitch sock for myself. Did I say it's size 1, US 1, 2.25 millimeter? And I always do mine, magic loop on a 40 inch. I know I can do it on like a 32 if I'm only doing one, but I just prefer the 40 inch. These have been my sock needles since I started knitting socks. So I love them. They're Addy sock rockets. Yeah, the yarn is a Plucky Knitter skein that I've had in my stash for a very long time. It is, oh wow, I didn't realize there was cashmere in this. I feel spoiled now. I did not realize I was knitting with a MCN base. So this is merino cashmere nylon, 75% merino, 20% cashmere, and 5% nylon. This came in a kit, not a kit, like a special club that one of my best friends, Amanda, who I used to live with for a few years before I moved in with Seaver, my husband, she got this for me for my birthday, and it was a little skein in the Big Wool Club based on Little House in the Big Woods, and that's what this colorway is called, Big Woods. So you were given 2 skeins of this beautiful green color, and I love the ply. It's like got that bouncy, springy ply to it, which is my favorite. You don't often find it. You usually find it with a 80-20 base. You don't often find it with a MCN base, so that's really cool. But yeah, this was part of a club. I got a bag from Little Skein in the Big Wool. I got my first ever Progress Keeper, and I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, I don't know, I didn't understand. It was, if you've watched for a really long time, it's the little pancakes with the little pat of butter on it. I haven't used that Progress Keeper in a long time because I have more now, but for a while it was like my only one. And when I started watching podcasts, it sort of clicked like what it was for, and I was really excited that like I kept seeing podcasters showing off their Progress Keepers and their little charms on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have one of those. Like I got one in a club and I never knew what to do with it. I thought, like, what's the point of this? It's not good for like a stitch marker for a beginning of round. It was just sitting in my like project bag or my notions bag. So yeah, then that started my like obsession and my love affair with Progress Keepers, which has continued to today. But I don't have one on here yet. Maybe I'll pull out the OG, the original Progress Keeper, and put it on my Little House, my Big Woods colorway. Yeah, and then what else did I get in that? Like some stitch markers, a pattern by Susan B. Anderson, which I never ended up using. I think that might have been it. But yeah, they sent along 2 skeins of this Plucky Knitter. The first skein I used to knit a, oh my goodness, it's a shawl by Molly Clott of Homespun House. Whispering Pines, is that what it is? It's something pines. It's got like kind of a pine cone lace like at the bottom. and I knit that shawlette out of that skein. And I had one skein left, and I knew I wanted to do socks out of it someday, but I never got around to it. I was using other yarn, and then I had this idea for a pair of socks based on like pine needles, and I knit up the first prototype pair of those socks, I think last year or end of 2019 maybe, and I gave them to my husband, and I tentatively named them the Ponderosa Pine Socks because we had taken a trip to Colorado the summer of 2019, so 2 years ago, and he absolutely loved the Ponderosa pines. We don't have ponderosas here, and they have a different smell to them than the pine trees that we have in Wisconsin and in the Midwest. So he just thought they were I don't know, he's such an outdoorsy guy. He loves nature, and he just, every time we'd walk through a patch of ponderosas, he would just like smell them. Their trunks almost have a sweet smell, almost like vanilla, or some people think it almost smells like cocoa. What else have I heard? Just a very sweet smell. And I have some pictures of him like hugging a pine tree and like smelling it. So anyway, they were for him. They had like a motif that reminded me of pine needles, and so I named them the Ponderosa Pine Socks. And I just never got around to like making the pattern. So this colorway seemed perfect for that pattern, and I thought, why not? I'm gonna cast on a pair. I want to get some of these patterns that have been, or projects that have been in my head for, well, in this case years, in some other cases just months. I want to get them out. I want to just start producing, and it feels so good when you finally put that idea that's been just rattling around in your brain, either both onto paper or onto my computer, and then also knit it up. It's just like the best feeling. Those of you who have done it and seen it, and even if you're not selling it or anything like that, it's just such a cool feeling to have it out there in the universe. So I really want to get these done, and I really miss knitting socks. I haven't, after my Little Women socks were done that I showed last time, this is obviously the only sock knitting I've done, and I've just done a toe, and so I'm really missing having a like basic or somewhat basic pair of socks to just go to and knit on when Hudson's playing, or I have a few minutes, some free time at night. It's like my go-to summer knitting. So yeah, I'm really loving these. Yeah, so otherwise, that's my only work in progress right now, because I finished the baby hat and I finished the Bluff Top. I'm gonna cast on that little diaper cover to go with the elephant hat. And yeah, my only acquisition over the last couple weeks was a bit of sale yarn that I got from Knit Circus. And oh geez, okay, don't want to make too much noise. Okay, so at Knit Circus we sell our prototypes, and we sell like skeins or cakes that we I don't want to say like mess up, but if something just doesn't go right in the dye process, obviously we're not going to sell that at full price, so we will discount that as well. Now, a lot of those are on our website and they're listed for purchase, and you can order them, get them sent to you. But these that I'm going to show you are not, and that's because these are like one-of-a-kind prototypes. So we were just testing out different shades of color. Not exactly sure for what. I wasn't in on this one, but a lot of times we'll do these on 50-gram skeins that we make up, so that we're not wasting too much yarn. We just want to see what it's going to look like on our bases. And we had a ton of these come through. We were like cleaning up cleaning house and not wanting these skeins to just be sitting around. So we got them ready for sale and labeled them, and I'm just gonna hold them up here. And the lighting is not great, but, and this is really hard to hold up, but you can kind of see it's a really like autumnal, I don't know, autumnal palette. What you can see is the tags, but I'll show a couple of them up close. So these are all on our Greatest of Ease base, which is 80/20 merino nylon. And I just picked out, I think I have 7 colors, and I want to do either a shawl or a like autumnal blanket or something like that. This one in the middle here is like a brownish green. And then I love that sage color with the burnt orange and this ochre, and they all just go so well together. So yeah, they were discounted. I get a little bit of an extra discount on things, and they're one of a kind, and they're just so much fun. I love putting together palettes. I couldn't pass that up. Me and another coworker, we both were like putting together sets for ourselves. There was just like so many, and there's still a lot. So if you're local and you want to come in and kind of put together a few colors, then please feel free, because there's some fun ones still there. So otherwise, that's it for me today. I don't have any other yarn to show you. I don't have any other projects to show you. I haven't really worked on Seaver's sweater. And yeah, that's it. I think I still have some time to do some cleaning, which is great. And I'm so glad I fit. I'm just like looking around to make sure I didn't forget anything. I'm so glad I fit in a podcast. I could probably talk for another 20 minutes and make it my usual length, but I'm not going to allow myself to do that. Hopefully I'll be back in another couple weeks to show you more knitting and more projects and just let you know what I've been up to. Find show notes on at driftlessknitting.com. I'm not sure when this podcast will go up because I am busy tonight and tomorrow, but hopefully by next week I can get the show notes put together and then be able to upload the video. So thank you all so much for watching. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for giving my podcast a chance. This was a little bit of a hurried one, kind of a slapdash episode, but hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. Please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and share if you want to on Instagram. I always appreciate everybody's support, and it's always really fun when I see that people are watching. So thank you all so much. If you're a returning viewer, you know how much I appreciate you, and hopefully I'll see you again here soon. In the meantime, do things that make your heart happy. I will be doing the same. Be kind to one another, love each other, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.